behalf of Greater Memphis Chamber, we will highlight people and companies who offer a forward-leaning approach to the growth of our great city. We will share a closer look at what makes Memphis attractive for economic growth, innovation, and expansion, as well as talent retention, tourism, education, good health, and great business. Welcome to Memphians on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie White. Christ Community is one of the largest faith-based centers in the nation and the largest primary health care provider in Shelby County, serving over 57,000 patients annually. Joining me today is friend to the show and CEO of Christ Community Health Services, Chantel Leatherwood. Chantel, welcome so much to Memphians on the Move. We're so glad to have you today.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so now, Chantel, when you were last here, we spoke about your local impact in areas of service.
Sure.
So what can you first tell us about impact measurements today?
Well, in terms of Christ Community Health Services, Stephanie, I can share with you that we're still impacting Memphis and Shelby County. Last year, as you've already stated, we've served over 57,000 individuals through 168,000 encounters, providing them with adult and pediatric healthcare services. That also includes obstetrics and gynecology. It also includes behavioral health and dental services.
Okay. So would you give us a closer look at the people that you serve?
Sure. So about 63% of our patients are females between the ages of 18 and 64 years of age. Most of them are uninsured. About 40% of our patients are uninsured. About 38% have Medicaid. And in this last year, about 1,400 of our patients were classified as homeless.
Okay, now let's talk more about the service areas. You offer an impressive suite of services that include adult and pediatric care, as you just mentioned,
Sure.
behavioral health, women's health, general dentistry, and more. Are there some services that may tend to fly under the radar that are available that I didn't mention?
Sure. So we also have 5 pharmacies across our network. We have also contracts with retail pharmacies across the city. So a patient that actually comes into Christ Community Health Services could also receive their prescription medications at Walgreens or Walmart or Fred's or a retail pharmacy such as that. I mentioned that we served about 1,400 homeless individuals. In March of this year, we opened our freestanding homeless health center in partnership with Baptist Memorial Healthcare Foundation. And it's the first of its kind here in the city. So that's another service that flies under the radar. And then one more would be our HIV services. So we provided services to about 1,200 individuals impacted with HIV and AIDS in the last year.
All right, great information. More with CEO Chantel Leatherwood on the recent expansion of Christ Community Health Services after these messages.
Hello, welcome to Christ Community.
I immediately felt something different. You know, it's loving care because loving is living up to their name. It's complete care with medical, dental, behavioral health, and pharmacy right in my community. Loving care for your body, mind, and spirit. Call 901-842-3160 or log on to christcommunityhealth.org for an appointment. Christ Community Health Services. Healing with soul.
Good afternoon, future Shalukis. On behalf of Southwest,
I chose Southwest to find my path.
To train for my career.
To achieve my dreams. Put him on a non-rebreather of 15 liters a minute.
To transform my life.
Southwest is your best choice. Enroll today.
Our goal is to help Memphis grow. We give member businesses the support they need to reach their full potential. We work with site selectors and relocating companies to demonstrate the advantages of doing business in Memphis. We advocate with local, state, and federal governments on behalf of our members, and we pursue investment opportunities that enrich our communities. We also partner with educational and vocational programs to provide a skilled workforce. Plus, we support initiatives that help make Memphis a great place to live. Join your Greater Memphis Chamber today.
Welcome back to Memphians on the Move. Christ Community Health Services has been awarded a new Access Point grant from the Bureau of Primary Health Care to extend health care to East Jackson, Tennessee. Providing $650,000 annually, the grant affords community health centers the opportunity to expand needed primary care services to medically underserved and rural communities. So Chantel, will you be hiring additional staff in Jackson?
Sure. So we will actually be retaining some of the staff at the location that we're actually acquiring in Jackson, Tennessee. So we had a physician to reach out to us about a year ago about establishing a center similar to Christ Community. This was his long-term desire. And he currently has about 5 FTEs. They're working in the center, coupled with himself and his wife that are there. So he will actually be coming on board. And then we've also recruited a nurse practitioner that will start there in January. And we'll be working to recruit another physician for the center.
All right, we know the center offers a lot of services. So will those same services be identical to what you're going to be having in Jackson?
Sure. So in the first year, our plan is to provide adult and pediatric primary care services. We'll also be providing behavioral health services via telehealth until we're able to recruit a licensed clinical social worker there. And then we'll be offering dental services through referral partnerships locally until we decide what's needed, look at the demand for services, and then work toward building out a dental center.
Okay. So what percentage of the Jackson population can immediately benefit from this expansion?
So our goal would probably be to serve a little less than 1% of the population in the first year. Our plan is to serve about 1,900 individuals in the first year and then about 3,100 individuals in the second year.
Now, I know you touched on this a little bit, but what services are going to be offered in Jackson?
So that will include adult and primary care, pediatrics, behavioral health services via telehealth in the first year, and then dental services through referrals. We're also working on prescription medications through contract retail pharmacies, like I mentioned here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. Now, since you are the first federally qualified health center in Madison County, will you work closely with the hospitals? And if so, how will you handle the patients that need additional services that aren't going to be offered by Christ Community? Yeah.
Sure. So honestly, one of the reasons that we moved to Jackson was because of the partnership with West Tennessee Healthcare there. Lisa Piercy, who is now the Commissioner of Health, was working for West Tennessee Healthcare, and she made the connection with Dr. Larson and us. So our goal is to work in partnership with them, helping them offload the ED, helping them serve uninsured individuals, and in turn, they're actually going to be providing us with specialty services via referral arrangements, which would be services that would be out of our scope to provide.
All right, so with this new expansion, will you concentrate on Madison County, or do you expect to have patients from the surrounding cities and counties as well?
So our initial goal is to focus on Madison County, but of course we'll serve anyone that comes through our doors.
All right. Now, how can our viewers learn more about Christ Community Health Services in both Memphis and in Jackson?
Sure. So individuals could actually go to www.christcommunityhealth.org, or they can call 901-842-3160.
Such great information from Christ Community Health Services. We'll have more after this message.
Today is my grand opening. Just the start of a new beginning for Big Mamas and Grannies. Big Mamas and Grannies was actually my big mama and my granny. Everything that they instilled in me, I want to give to others. We specialize in Southern soul to American tradition with a Cajun and Creole twist.
You have to eat the food.
That chicken salad is remarkable.
The macaroni and cheese is literally the best thing you've ever put into your mouth.
My favorite food is macaroni and cheese.
Tanaka represents where passion and perseverance meets resources. Memphis has tons of talented people with gifts. They just don't have the resources to fund those gifts. So I think Tanaka's story represents what Memphis can be.
Pathway Lending is one of those organizations that provide the necessary financing to women-owned businesses and black-owned businesses, even veterans as well. We're in a place that we can provide finances necessary to grow a community from within.
Pathway is a really important partner because they're nationally recognized experts in the distribution of capital to emerging businesses. Together, we solve a very significant challenge for entrepreneurs in Memphis.
Everything that you see in here today, the funding from Pathway Lending allowed me to do that. This has really allowed my vision and my dreams to really come true. A lot of times because you're a woman, you're seen unable to do. So I've always had that determination of nothing can stop me. I'm gonna keep pushing. I wish that everybody in the city of Memphis knew about Epicenter and Pathway Lending. If I'd never gotten a phone call from Epicenter, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't.
Joining me now is Dr. Tracy D. Hall, President of Southwest Tennessee Community College. Dr. Hall, welcome to Memphians on the Move.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. Now let's start with an introductory overview of Southwest. Many might know this, but there are 7 locations in Memphis. What are the locations and what are some of the programs that are offered by the college?
Yes, so we are everywhere. We have a location, we have 2 larger campuses, one Macon Cove, the other is downtown on Union. We have a location in Whitehaven. We have a location, our Maxine Smith location is near Southwind, Collierville area. We have a location in Millington. We just opened a new site where we share space with UT Martin in Somerville.
Okay, excellent.
And we also have a Gill Center that's in Fraser, so we are almost everywhere.
Very good. Yes. Now, what can you tell us about the job placement rate for Southwest?
Well, it depends on the major, and so most of our majors, the job placement rates are 88%. In our nursing, it's practically 100%. So we do a really wonderful job of making sure that students are educated in their fields, and then once they graduate, they have a job.
Okay. Now, what is meant by tuition-free college at Southwest?
Well, it's a last dollar scholarship. So for example, if a student, there's tuition, if a student has a Pell Grant or Hope Scholarship, all of those dollars are applied to their tuition or their bill first. And if there are any remaining charges, then you have the application of the Tennessee Promise or the Tennessee Reconnect.
All right, well, since joining Southwest Tennessee Community College in 2016, the number of associate's degrees has shown tremendous growth. What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's hard work. When I first arrived, and I arrived actually in 2015, but we started a big audacious goal is what I called it, and it was joining and achieving the dream in 2016. And that's where we just worked together as a college to revise, revamp everything in student affairs. So we looked at the student processes from recruitment all the way to completion. And with all of that hard work, we went from a 7-year decline in enrollment to an increase in enrollment. And we've now seen where over those years, 41% increase overall in our associate's degrees awarded. And so that's just a collective effort.
Awesome information. We will have more with Dr. Tracy Hall when we come back. Stay with us for more Memphians on the Move.
Hello, welcome to Christ Community.
I immediately felt something different. You know, it's loving care because loving is living up to their name. It's complete care with medical, dental, behavior health, and pharmacy right in my community. Loving care for your body, mind, and spirit. Call 901-842-3160 or log on to christcommunityhealth.org for an appointment. Christ Community Health Services. Healing with soul.
Listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly.
Opportunity. What we deliver by delivering.
Good afternoon, future Shalukis. On behalf of Southwest,
I chose Southwest to find my path.
To train for my career.
To achieve my dreams. Put him on a non-rebreather of 15 liters a minute.
To transform my life.
Southwest is your best choice. Enroll today.
Welcome back to Memphians on the Move. I'm joined by Dr. Tracy Hall, president of Southwest Tennessee Community College. Dr. Hall, can you talk to us a little bit about the challenges that may be facing urban communities in preparing students for the workforce?
Yes, I think when you look at any urban community, not just Memphis, but any urban community, and this is my third urban community at which I've worked at a community college, students come to us underprepared for college. And not just underprepared academically, but socially as well. And so when they arrive at Southwest, one of our main goals is to make sure that we help them to achieve their goals. Now, if they are underprepared, that may take longer. And they also may have other issues that impact whether they're successful or not. And so what we have to do is to focus on the tutoring and all the academic support, but also the social services support. So if we have a student that has had a blown tire or any type of life crisis, these are the types of issues that we have to address. We can't just say it doesn't matter what happens outside of the classroom. We only focus on the classroom. We have to focus on both. And so we take a holistic approach to educating the student because we have to.
Now, Dr. Hall, let's talk about the SIP grant. What exactly is the grant and how does it impact the urban community?
Yes, well, we are very excited about the SIP grant. It is an affirmation that we are headed in the right direction. So with Achieving the Dream, one of the things that we had to do that we did with Achieving the Dream was to make sure that we took a holistic approach to our students. And so the academic support services that they needed, in addition to the wraparound support service, the out-of-class services. So what the SIP grant allows us to do is to take that to the next level. And so we will be able to bring on more advisors, and advisors are really critical to student success. In addition, we are looking at what's happening in the classroom. Approximately 80% of the time spent on campus for students is with faculty. And so we need to look at what's going on in the classroom, look at our gatekeeper courses, what is preventing students from being successful. The SIP grant will allow us to do that. $2.1 million, we can do a lot with that.
Very good. Now, what are the focus areas of the grant? I know that you mentioned a little bit, but what areas do you really want to focus on with this?
Yes, so the professional advising, what's happening in the classroom, looking at teaching and learning, professional development for faculty and staff, and just the holistic look at what's going on in our classroom. We will also infuse high impact practices into the classroom. We've been doing that. This will allow us to do that even more. And so those experiential learning opportunities for students works really well to help students to be successful.
So how does your ATD work tie into this concept?
Yes, and so ATD we started in 2016, and that was to reinvent our student experience from recruitment all the way to completion. And so we've seen success with the Achieving the Dream. SIP, again, allows us to continue that work. Again, so it's an affirmation that we're headed in the right direction, but it acknowledges that we still have a long way to go.
Awesome information. We will have more with Dr. Tracy Hall when we come back. Stay with us for more Memphians on the Move.
Good afternoon, future Shalukis. On behalf of Southwest,
I chose Southwest to find my path.
To train for my career.
To achieve my dreams. Put him on a non-rebreather of 15 liters a minute.
To transform my life.
Southwest is your best choice. Enroll today.
Our goal is to help Memphis grow. We give member businesses the support they need to reach their full potential. We work with site selectors and relocating companies to demonstrate the advantages of doing business in Memphis. We advocate with local, state, and federal governments on behalf of our members, and we pursue investment opportunities that enrich our communities. We also partner with educational and vocational programs to provide a skilled workforce. Plus, we support initiatives that help make Memphis a great place to live. Join your Greater Memphis Chamber today.
Now, Dr. Hall, before the break, we talked about the SIP grant. Now, how is this significant to the workforce development?
Well, absolutely. So when we're talking about educating more students and producing more graduates, that means that we're talking about building the workforce. 96% of our students come to us, they live in Shelby County. And when they graduate, they remain in Shelby County. So the students that we're preparing today, we're preparing them for the workforce of not only today, but of tomorrow. If you talk about poverty, and education is a path out of poverty, we feel that there's no other institution that's better positioned to do that than community colleges in general and here in Memphis Southwest.
And so, Dr. Hall, how are the students impacted?
The students are impacted because they are better prepared for the workforce. They are marketable. When we have our students come to us, we just look at them as at promise. I know a lot of times we talk about at-risk students. We don't see our students as being at risk. We see them as at promise because there's so much that they bring to the college that we can just help to develop and help them to find their voices. And when they select which career path they want, it's our job to help them to be successful. So when they leave Southwest, they're ready, they're work ready, or if they're transferring to a four-year institution, they're ready for that junior level. So the impact to the student is enormous.
All right, and finally, what are some examples of your workforce pipeline?
Well, we have a number of paths that our students take. Our most popular field of interest for students is nursing and allied health. And so we have students all throughout Memphis working at local healthcare institutions. We also have our students, second most popular major, business administration, and so they are everywhere. One example in particular, Southwest has worked with Memphis Tomorrow and the city of Memphis to help to build a pipeline for future police officers. And so we have the PST program. You may see some of our students and they're out and they're helping with traffic. Well, that's a partnership with the city of Memphis. And so we are so excited about finding out what are the needs in the community from a workforce perspective and making sure that we meet those needs.
All right. Dr. Tracy Hall, President of Southwest Tennessee Community College, we thank you. And to find out more about these opportunities and updates, please visit southwest.tn.edu. We'll see you next time on Greater Memphis Chamber Presents Memphians on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie White. Thanks for watching.
The Greater Memphis Medical Device Council. We were formed with the mission of creating a pipeline of sustainable employees for the industry as a whole. One of the big challenges that the medical device industry has in terms of being able to grow and sustain itself is skilled employees, machinists, metal finishers, inspectors, packagers, all of those essentially hourly employee type positions that are the engine that make those companies run. There are more than 40 medical device companies that are in the orthopedic and spinal implant and instrument business here in the greater Memphis area. Those companies employ more than 6,500 people directly. And those careers that the medical device manufacturers are looking for are people that will actually do the machining of the raw materials to create the implants, people who will do the metal finishing to put the right surface finish on those implants so that they can be ready to go into the human body. People that do the inspection to make sure that the products meet the specifications in terms of the dimensions and the finish and the level of cleanliness of the products. And then also the people that do the packaging, which is a very specific job. It's not just putting something into a box, there's a lot more that goes into that. In the end, there is a great sense of satisfaction about being able to do a very specific job correctly all day long and knowing that you're playing a role in helping to put somebody's life back together, because essentially in orthopedic surgery, that's what that does. It gets people that have been in wheelchairs back up walking again, or gets people that have been in tremendous accidents, out of the hospital bed, up and walking in essentially a few days. And to know that you're a part of that is very rewarding. Yes, the jobs are available. There are positions that are open. The opportunity is there. The market is growing, and there are additional companies coming into the Memphis area, and they need skilled employees. Memphis has the second largest concentration of medical device companies in the United States. We want that to continue to grow, and a lot of those companies have employees that have been there for a long time because they were great places to work. Get into these companies because you'll have a career that will last for a long time, and it will take care of you and your family, and at the end you'll know you're doing something to help somebody else. At the same time, you're earning a paycheck. I would advise everybody to give the medical device career a good look because there's multiple opportunities for ways to contribute.
Hello, welcome to Christ Community.
I immediately felt something different. You know, it's loving care because loving is living up to their name. It's complete care with medical, dental, behavioral health, and pharmacy right in my community. Loving care for your body, mind, and spirit. Call 901-842-3160 or log on to christcommunityhealth.org for an appointment. Christ Community Health Services. Healing with soul.
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude. Black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly.
Opportunity. What we deliver by delivering.
Do you like wings? Then you will love All Star, where we offer the whole wing and many more mouth-watering items. So come in and visit us at Highway 64, just east of Applin Road, or Perkins and Knight Arnold. All Star, home of the whole wing.